Okay, so we finished both of our mitts, attached those. Everything's looking really cute. All we have left is the back, which would be the spots and the tail. So we're gonna do the tail here on camera with you. And if you have the pattern, you can follow along. And you'll see from the pattern, we're gonna start with, I call these nubs. You can call them whatever you like, but 2 small nubs and 1 larger nub. This is what we're gonna use to create our Bluey tail. And I'm gonna walk you through this because it can feel a little tricky, but it's really not that hard. So we're gonna start with our large nub. You can find wherever you joined the seam is usually a good spot. And you're gonna take one of the small nubs and you're gonna attach them right there. We're gonna use some stitch markers and attach. And then what we're gonna do is count about 2 to 3 stitches over. Try 3 if it will reach. And we're gonna put another stitch marker. We're attaching these nubs on both sides to the big nub. Okay, so we have those attached there, and then I'm gonna come to this side. This is our center one. We're gonna come to this side, about 3 stitches over as well. And it's okay if it looks a little distorted. Don't worry, it all works out. Okay, so we've got that one attached right there. And then we're gonna come to the other side. This is our larger nub. We're gonna do the same exact thing. We're gonna find the center. And we're going to use our stitch marker, attach it. Let's see. Right there at the center point. We're going to go over 3 stitches. Attach it there and then to the other side. Okay, so we got those attached. It looks kind of funky. Don't worry about it. It's kind of weird. But we're going to go and take our tapestry needle and our scrap yarn, and we're gonna stitch those right there together. Nothing fancy, right where those stitch markers are. So I'm gonna take this out. I'm just gonna stitch right over the top, back and forth. This is gonna be the very end of that tail. And these are going to be enclosed inside, so you're not even going to see them. So it doesn't need to look that pretty, it just needs to be attached pretty well. Okay, once I get to the edge, I'm gonna tie it off and then just weave those loose ends in. Like I said, you're not gonna see it at all. Just wanna make sure it's tied off really well. And actually, we'll come back and do this one. Since this is already threaded, I'm gonna go ahead and use the rest of this. We're gonna do the exact same thing to the other side. I'm just gonna start right where that first stitch marker is. Same thing. Okay. And we're gonna weave that one in. And then we can come back and weave this one's in as well. One more yarn tail. Okay, so we got that. Still looking a little weird. That's okay. This is kind of what we're left with. Like I said, you're not going to see this. What we're going to do is we are going to insert our hook in through the back, pull up a yarn, and we're going to start single crocheting all the way around this edge. This is going to connect those nubs, and then we're going to add some polyfill fiber. And you don't need to do that unless you want. If you want to add the poly, you can. If you just want to leave the tail flat, that's fine as well. Let's go ahead and get our varsity blue yarn. And it doesn't really matter which side you start on. Go ahead and insert your hook. Pull up a loop and chain one. So we're going to start single crocheting around the entire thing. And it looks really sloppy right now, don't worry. It's going to really shore up as we go. Just going to single crochet all the way around. Okay, we're coming to the back where we started. And you can slip stitch in that first chain you started. And there's your first round. I'm gonna pull this out. So it still looks a little weird. Don't worry, it will start looking more normal. So we are going to do 7 total rows of single crochet connecting all the way around. That was our first round. And then once we have about, I don't know, 2 or 3, you might want to go ahead and add your stuffing in before it gets too tall. It just makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to go ahead, chain 1, and again just single crochet around. We're going to do a total of 7 rounds, this one here being round 2. So I've just completed the 4th round on the end of the tail. As you can see, it's looking a little more normal. I'll turn to the front. This is kind of the look we're going for on the end of that tail. So now is a good time if you're going to put stuffing in it to do that before it gets too tall. And even if you decide to maybe leave the rest of your tail flat, I do suggest adding just a little bit of stuffing here at the end to kind of give it shape. It just does look a little bit better. And kind of just some stuffing there. Kind of shape it how you like it, just so it has a nice look. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So now I have some stuffing in there. I'm going to go ahead and continue single crocheting around. We want to single crochet a total of 7 rounds. And then we're going to be joining in our cornflower blue for the remainder of the tail. Just go ahead and do your 7 rounds and I will meet up with you to join that cornflower blue. Okay, so we've come to the end of the 7th round. I'm ready to join in my cornflower blue. So I have 2 loops left on my hook. I'm going to go ahead and drop my varsity blue. I'm going to pick up the cornflower blue, yarn over and pull through both those loops. And then I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch to that first chain 1. You can tighten that tail of that varsity blue. We're going to chain 1, and now we are actually going to half double crochet in each stitch around. We're no longer single crocheting, we're doing half double crochet. So go ahead and do that all the way around. This is actually going to be your 8th round, and we are going to half double crochet up until the round 20. We're going to make it all the way back around. And go ahead and slip stitch to that first chain 1. And right here is a good place to stop for a second and trim off that varsity blue. And before your tail gets too long, you want to knot off, and you don't actually have to weave these in. You can kind of just stuff them in there, just knot it real good so they're secure. You can stuff them in with a stuffing, and keep in mind to stuff the tail as you go. Don't wait until the very end. It makes it a little bit trickier if you choose to do that. So go ahead and take care of those tails, and then we're going to do 20 rounds. I'm starting on round 9. We're going to do a total of 20 on the half double crochet, and then I will meet back up with you at the end. Okay, we finished our tail ending in round 20. The cornflower blue started on round 8, so we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we have our tail. I did leave the yarn tail attached so we can sew that to the blanket. And off camera, I've also constructed the dots. We have 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. So we're first going to start with the tail. So I've already pre-marked these because I know it's a lot to see on camera. I've taken the center line with stitch markers and marked that to kind of help us. You can see that. So that line coming down. So we're going to go ahead and take our tail along that center line and put it wherever you think best. I like it about 3 inches from the bottom. I think looks good. You can do more or less, whatever you prefer. And then go ahead and just take your straight pins and pin that straight to the blanket. We don't need to stitch this closed, the tail. We're gonna just close that when we stitch it to the blanket. So I don't need to do that ahead of time. But make sure that stuffing is not sticking out. Okay, we've got that pinned. Then we're going to go ahead and do our layout for our dots. It's kind of helpful to lay them all out, get them pinned, make sure you like the layout before you start stitching. You can put these wherever you want, but typically the large starts somewhere over here, then the small, and then the medium a little higher. So I think I like something like that. So when you get a layout you like, just same thing, use your straight pins. Go ahead and pin these all around. hoping you can see the majority of this. And we're going to go ahead and pin our last small dot. Okay, so once you have it all pinned, look at the full layout, make sure you like it. Now's the time to adjust. If you don't, if you feel like it's a little off center or so forth. I'm kind of looking at my center lines and I actually think my tail's a little off, so I'm going to shift it a teeny bit. Repin it. With the tail to make sure that's pretty centered. And then I can adjust everything else if I want. I might move this dot over a teeny bit. Nothing big. Okay, once you like your layout, I'm going to take our tapestry needle and that yarn tail, and we're going to go ahead and just stitch this tail right to the blanket. I'm going to pull this up, make sure you can see it. I'm going to go ahead, I find it easy if you kind of pinch it like this. So then you can make sure you're just catching a couple stitches. I always like to make sure it's really attached there on the sides though. Right on the corners. That's where it sometimes can easily pull away. Make sure we catch both those layers of the tail. Pull that pretty darn snug. A couple more stitches. I'm coming to the end here. Like I said, on these corners, that's what I mean. If you don't get it quite right, it kind of can pull away. So I always want to make sure I put a couple extra stitches just right in the corner, just to extra secure it. Okay, so I've got that attached. Feels pretty good. We'll go ahead and tie that off and weave in that ends on the other side later. And then same process, we're going to take our tapestry needle, our varsity yarn, scrap yarn, and we're going to stitch these dots all around to the blanket. And I like to stitch right here, right along this edge. It hides it really well, you can't tell, and it secures it nice. Go ahead and just take your tapestry needle and your scrap yarn, and we're just going to lay this flat on the table surface. Insert whatever point you like, it doesn't really matter. We're going to touch that tabletop, catch a couple stitches, and just pull right up. This is really nice because it makes it super quick. We can just work on the top of our blanket here. Go back under, catch a couple stitches right on that edge, and pull back through. So you're just going to do this all the way around. These stitches are going to be enclosed. You're not going to see them at all. And the other part that's really nice is it actually, believe it or not, doesn't even show on the back side. When you flip it back over, you can't even really see your stitches. They're enclosed really nicely. Go ahead and finish this all the way around. Okay, so I'm coming around to the end, right where I started. Put one more stitch in there. And then we're just going to take our needle, go through to the back, pull through, and then we can just thread this last yarn tail that we started and bring that to the back as well. Go ahead and tie those off, weave in those loose ends, and we are done. We've got our completed Bluey inspired hooded blanket. It's looking great. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, or you're always welcome to reach out to me privately through the Contact Us tab on my website. If you'd like to purchase the PDF pattern for the Bluey inspired hooded blanket or check out my other patterns, these links will be provided in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this pattern tutorial. If you did, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I'll be adding more video tutorials as well as free patterns. Thanks, guys.